Greetings, brothers and sisters. Today I'm here to discuss the wealth elixir given to me by the demon, Bune. Now, as many of you know, I'm addicted to all different types of ritual concoctions. While I have spent a lot of my life trying to get away from them and do magic without the tools, I am often brought back to these magical elixirs. And one of the recipes that I channeled from Bune, which is an excellent demon to implement in any workings in money magic, is this elixir. And instead of keeping this elixir to myself, because I've had success after success after success with it, I've been using this for quite a few years. So now I'm going to show you how you can concoct this elixir and the ingredients you will need. The first implement you're going to need, of course, is a container. Now, the best type to use are these droplet bowls. And I'm just going to show you what these look like right here. As this elixir, when using it, you only need a few droplets. Now, you're also going to need to use olive oil, 100% olive oil. And that is going to be the carrying oil. Now, not only is that going to be a carrying oil, but actual olives have been a symbol of actual wealth in many cultures. For example, when I went to Tunisia, a friend of mine, his father owned a whole area that grows olives. And because of that, he's considered one of the most wealthiest men in the area. So not only is that going to be a carrying oil, but there is also something about olive too that really resonates with what we're trying to do here. Secondly, you're going to need 3 different types of oils. The first oil is cedarwood, and this is a pure oil of cedarwood. This is from the USA, and the part that was used for this was the actual wood. Then we have ginger, so you're going to want ginger oil. And this is actually from India, and it's taken from the root itself. And the third oil we're going to use, and I really butcher this pronunciation, but I think it's patchouli or patchouli, which is from Indonesia, and it's taken from the dried leaves, and that's also pure too. Now, if you can only manage to get a couple of these oils, for example, I suppose you could substitute the ginger oil for actual ginger, but the other ones you want to keep entirely oil based for this elixir. Next ingredient that we will be using is resin, and not any type of resin, but specifically the 3 Kings. And this resin right here is a mixture of myrrh, frankincense, and I also butcher this one too, this pronunciation, benzoin or benzoin. Like I said, I often butcher these pronunciations, but it does not matter. So this is great, and this is definitely to be used in this concoction. You're also going to need a green candlestick like so, and you're going to need the sigil of Bune. Now, I suggest making a very, very small sigil. Here's mine right there. Now, you don't have to be as intricate as I am with it. It's completely fine, but this is going to be used during the charging process. There is various stages of creating this elixir. And now we have 2 more ingredients. You're also going to need a bloodletting tool. So many people use athames, many people use actual needles. Now, I prefer simple medical lancet, and that's what I'll be using, as you will be using your own blood in this concoction. And the final last ingredient is actually soil, fresh soil of the earth. And you don't want to just go picking this from anywhere. You want to go out, you want to go outdoors, and you want to do sort of like a walking meditation. Just be simply receptive, focusing on your breathing, and focusing on the intent of, creating this elixir. Not only creating this elixir, but what you're creating it for. And just allow all the energies in the area, or even intuition, to completely roll over you and just take over you, and then go to whatever area you're being pulled to and just take soil from there. And this is the soil is of course going to be vibrating with those earthly energies, which is amazing to use in your rituals for money magic, as well as representing earthly treasures and unearthing the earthly treasures. So rather than going on to each implement and explaining what they do, let's get into the actual work, shall we? So let's begin. Okay, so gather your implements on any area of your altar, the closest to you. Now, I will be using this symbol specifically, and I use it in all of my consecrations, the inverted pentagram. The important step here is to actually activate the dormant potentials within all the actual ingredients that we will be using. And I'll show you how to do that. It is very, very simple. But before we actually get into anointing all of these liquids, all of these fluids, the first one here you can add in straight away without any consecration is the olive oil. And I'm just going to fill this just about a quarter of the way, or just slightly over the quarter. Now, it doesn't matter entirely about your measurements. Don't worry about that, and we'll just get to it now. As you can see, I just went over the quarter mark. That's no problem. That's just about right. So we can continue now. The carrying oil is in. We'll get into the first ingredient. So we're starting with the patchouli oil right here, and the process of consecration or activating the dormant potentials within these is very simple. You're going to want to take your right hand and just hold it over the actual implement. And as you do that, you just want to focus on your breath and get in touch with the energies that are contained within that ingredient. And just focus on that. And as you begin sensing that energy, now it may be very subtle, very ornate, I want you to actually inhale deeply. And as you pull in this energy, I want you to actually visualize it and feel it running up your arms. Now, your right hand should be fully extended out, but I'm just showing you for now. You want to feel the energy run up your arm, gather in your chest, and accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. Hold your breath. So as you inhale, just and hold the breath and feel that intensifying. And what's going to happen is the dormant energy that is contained within this oil is going to be a lot less dormant and a lot more prominent. And you're going to feel that energy of the oil that was only first subtle now intensify, solidify, increase, and become more critical in your own body. And as that happens, right hand still over it, you want to breathe out. And as you push the energy of that oil back into the oil, you want to focus on what that oil does. Now, you want to constantly repeat this. You want to constantly be cycling in the dormant energies and then breathing them back in. You want to actually uncork this. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to uncork it. Cycling that energy. And once you've done this a few times and you feel like the actual energy contained within the oil is like really vibrating, like you cannot push it anymore or take any more in, and it's reached that critical mass, you want to get on to the consecration. Creature of oil, spirit of patchouli, I awaken you and I give you life. I breathe my life into you and I activate your power and the function to perform your power within you. Open your eyes so you may see me. Open your ears so you may hear me. Open your mouth so you may speak to me. I imbue you with this power and I imbue you with this magic, and I call forth the spirit within it to come. I consecrate thee. I consecrate thee. I consecrate thee. I consecrate thee. People that have been doing consecration for years know that that's the very basic way to do it. It works and it's great. However, a couple of beginners of you're going to feel like this is just imagination. This is all in my imagination. And this isn't working. This isn't doing it for me. You know, it's very important that you're investing your intent into the process. It's also very important that you're focusing on why you're crafting this oil or why you're performing this this actual exercise, as well as you want to visualize it, as well as you want to feel it. The more you can feel it, the better. The more you can feel it, the better. If you can't feel it yet, keep doing it. Run with the madness. If it's all in imagination, okay, just say it's all in your imagination. Flow with it. And you're going to notice that at the end of the consecration, when everything is combined and come together and it's a new life form that's been created, you're going to realize there's something more in this. This isn't just imagination. And when you use it and you get results, it's going to blow your mind. So continue. Now that that's done, I'll just place this back inside there, and then I'll just screw the lid on right there. Okay, we'll then set this aside, and then we'll continue with cedar wood. Okay, now I've cycled this through my being a couple of times, and I've pushed, and I feel like I can't push anymore. Now this one I didn't have to uncork, because there's already an opening, and I caught on quite quickly. So it's time to just speak to consecration. Creature of oil, spirit of cedar wood, creature of earth, I activate you. I imbue you with life, and I imbue you with power, and I imbue you with my magic to perform the function within you. I give you life, and I activate you, and I consecrate the dormant potential within you. Open your eyes so you may see me, open your ears so you may hear me, and open your mouth so you may speak to me. I consecrate thee, I consecrate thee, I consecrate thee. And now I'm just going to place this on and just put that with the other one, and now we're on to ginger oil, guys. So let's move on to that, shall we? Now the ginger is very it's a lot more intense, it's a lot more fiery, and matter of fact my camera keeps going in and out of focus here, so that's interesting. So now recycled and cycled back, recycled and cycled back, over and over and over. This one happened quickly, I rode with it, but I digress. So let's continue. Creature of oil, spirit of ginger, spirit of earth, taken from the ground, taken from the soil, taken from the earth. I imbue you with my power. I activate your power. I activate the dormant potential within you. I imbue you with life, and I give you life. I imbue you with my breath. I imbue you with my magic to perform the function within you, to activate you. Come alive now. Come alive now. Open your eyes so you may see me. Open your ears so you may hear me. And open your mouth so you may speak to me. I consecrate thee. I consecrate thee. I consecrate thee. It looks very basic, looks very simple, I know, but now these are activated. Those three oils are activated. So now we're just going to put these into the actual concoction right here. And now we're onto the final oil. And as you can just see, I'm not caring about how much I put in. I'm just simply running with it. And this simple action of just pouring the oil seems so basic, yet it's so potent that if you're pure and you have any sensitivity to these energies at all, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. What I'm going to be using is this slut water made by Barbie Garrett. Now, I know I said that this wasn't an ingredient, but the reason why I'm using this now is because recently I've been using this in a lot of my consecrations, in a lot of my creations and concoctions of other elixirs, because the benefit of this elixir isn't only the things that are listed in there, but it also empowers other concoctions that you're making. it's an additional power source. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to add that, and I felt like I needed to, and I feel like I need to add more. So that's what I'm doing. Remember, guys, trust in yourself in this operation, and that's what I'm doing. I'm adding it with the power source. And the reason, now what I'm doing here is, normally you would do an activation of the slut water, but I'm not activating it. And the reason why I'm not activating it is because I've often found that when using this, I'll actually just hold my hand over this now, and I'll give the slut water inside of it the activation to actually empower the oils and to empower the entire concoction altogether. But I'm not going to do that yet. And the reason why is because I'm going to do that right at the end. See, hardly any soil, because that's how much I felt I needed. And there were little bits of gravel that came out, but I didn't pick them. I didn't throw them away. I kept them all together because I felt like I had to. The earth spoke to me, she spoke to me, and I listened. And that's the important thing. So I'm just going to hold my hand over this and do exactly the same I done with the oil. Just pulling it through me and pulling it back. Now I must admit, this was quite quick because the earth is already alive. It is already alive. It's just a final pushing of your power in accordance with it. So, creature of earth, soil taken from the land, from my land and the land of my forefathers. Come alive now and open your eyes so you may see me. Open your ears so you may hear me, and open your mouth so you may speak to me. In the name of the Mother Earth, I activate you and consecrate you, for you a treasure and the abundance of earth. For you with the prosperity it holds. Come alive now. Come alive now. And I just felt the intention all of a sudden to break this up. That's what 90% of your rituals and spells should be. Not just written down in a book. That you should move with the power, move with the energy of the moment. And that's what I did. Now I'm placing this inside the actual elixir. Bit by bit. Bit by bit. All of that is in there. Now, like I said, guys, with the slut water, you don't have to follow that step. If you don't have it, then fair enough. But I do recommend, highly, highly recommend that you do go get your hands on that, because I've used it just for about everything so far. So let's see what we got to do next. Right, so next is the Three Kings. And I'm just going to place it back up on my grimoire here. It doesn't matter where you're doing it. Just move with it. Move with the chaos. I'll show you exactly how much I'm using here. That's how much we're using here. That's how much I was compelled to collect together. And that's how much we will use. Don't question yourself, guys. Don't be hard on yourself. Enjoy it. Be with the moment. And that's how much I will be using. Right hand over, focusing on it. Pulling that energy in, recycling it into the self, activating the dormant energies within it, and pushing it back out and infusing it into its fiber. Creature of earth, creature of resin, frankincense, benzoin. I activate you and I consecrate you and I imbue you with my power and I imbue you with my essence. Alive now. Come alive now. Open your ears so you may hear me. Open your eyes so you may see me. Open your mouth so you may speak unto me. Awaken. Now we're just going to be adding those bits of resin inside piece by piece, and what I try to do is I be really receptive. Like right now, each bit that I'm dropping, I'm feeling like a astral bubbles, almost like dropping Mentos into a Coke onto a Pepsi, and you'll feel that fizz, that reaction. I'm feeling that now, almost like an astral energetic bubbling, and it's tingling my fingers whenever I'm over it. So be in the moment, be very receptive. And I know all of this to the mundane, to the very beginners, may seem crazy, you know, but it works. There's method in the madness. Now, at this point, I don't exactly know YouTube's views on this, or if they'll allow this. So what I'm going to do is, just to be safe, I'm going to take this lancet off right now, and I'm going to be demonstrating this, but I won't be doing it on camera. But just know that you'll prick it into your thumb. Of course, you want to clean yourself up beforehand. And you don't want to, you want to be very careful. You want to try and clean the very top of the droplet bottle too, just because the oils and all the stuff there is going to sting the wound. So try and clean yourself up, the area up, before you put blood into the elixir. The blood is a very important component in the creation of this elixir, so you don't want to miss that out. This is one of the most key ingredients. Okay, so after adding the actual blood into the elixir, now I got about, I think it was 5-6 droplets of my own blood into the elixir. Just prop that up there. Today we're a bit all over the place, but with the blood, it's, like I said, is a very important component to use in this consecration, in this entire part of this. This is stage 1. You're consecrating the items, now you're putting them all together. This is a vital important. Maybe asking yourself, okay, so what do we do now? What do we say now? Actually, what you do now, my friends, is you're going to do something, which is this. You're going to just put this on top. You can see the mess right there of everything. Now, we're just going to give it a little shake. If you're very much like me, very clumsy, you would have gotten some of this stuff everywhere. And I did, and that's completely fine. That's fine, you know. So I'll just begin shaking this up. Now people will get into this and they'll say, shake a number amount of times, you know, shake the number of this Saturn, you know, Saturn, shake the number of this planet, shake the number of this element. None of that matters. None of that matters. Do you even think the pronunciations matter within these rituals? Do you really think that any of that matters? It doesn't. It doesn't. So now this is shaken up, we can get into the next part of this. And now this is stage 1. Stage 1 is complete. Stage 1 is complete. Now we're going to move on to stage 2. You're going to want to actually take your sigil of Bune. And what you're going to do with this, now as you can see, the size of this is just perfect for this, okay? Now what I will do is I'll open it, I'll activate it, and I'll gaze into it. I know many of you at this point are going to want to start using your elixir. No, trust me, do it this way. It's going to be better for you in the long run. Take the sigil of Bune, and open the sigil. Gaze into it, allow your vision to adjust, allow, you know, you're not exactly gazing at it. I'm not going to get into a whole opening sigils thing here, but when you open the sigil and you begin to see the lines flash and you begin to see it activate, you want to give its N, the N of the actual demon. Or you can even vibrate the name as a mantra. Wilik melanavij buntas. Wilik melanavij buntas. And as I'm doing this, I'm getting in contact, my mind is getting in contact with the entity. And I'm just projecting my intent. And you can say it internally, you can say it silently in your mind, that you want Bune, this demon, or many consider Bune to be a demoness, it does not matter. You want this demon to actually charge and stabilize the energies within the elixir, but to actually imbue the demon's power in this elixir also. That whatever is placed upon this seal, that whatever is placed upon the sigil will be charged with the demon's power, will be infused with its power, and it will stabilize the components in the actual elixir too. And you can, like I said, you can give the N over and over and over. You can vibrate a mantra, whatever. Soon as you feel the presence and the energy beginning leaking out of the sigil, out of the lines, and everything flashes and opens. Now, I've been very busy on this altar, as you can tell. Mine is not just for show. Now, I personally, and I will do this in a moment, but not on camera, I will actually take whatever bit of blood is in my wound, or if I can squeeze some out, and I'll put it along the lines of the sigil, and I will place that there. And at this point, I'll actually begin sitting down, meditating. Now, I've got a speaker here. I've also got a speaker here up with my lights that I will play the actual mantras or the chants or the ends of a particular demon or entity that I work with. So I'll play Bunes N and I'll chant Bunes N. And what I'll do is I'll sit there in that meditation, and I'll feel and I'll visualize the energies leaking out of the seal and just being pulled not only into the elixir, but into every ingredient in the elixir. How the demon's formless hands are taking each of the components and imbuing them with its own power, and is stabilizing them and making them work in the perfect unison with the intent, your intent in mind, to create the perfect elixir for works of prosperity, abundance, and money. And that's what we're doing here. Now, you can leave this and let it sit there for 3 days. I wouldn't go any longer than 3 days. Personally, for something for your first time, I would go the full 3 days. If not, if you need it sooner than that, then leave it just overnight. And yeah, you just leave it for a while. Just leave it for a while. Allow it to accumulate those energies. Walk away. Leave it on your altar. You don't have to be there and supervising it. So we've done the full concoction. We have also now done the charging process, and then we'll get into the full consecration in the next segment. You're going to want to prop up your green candle as so, and you can consecrate this beforehand. I've put some consecration oil on here, but that's not entirely necessary, but I have. Now I'm going to light the green candle as so. Taking this little container here because we're about to actually burn the sigil of Bune, and there is a reason for this. Now we've taken the elixir right here, and what you're going to do is you're going to take the sigil of Bune and just gaze into it and connect to Bune and just give him your thanks. Thank you, Bune. Thank you. And I'm going to now burn the sigil of Bune upon this green candle, but not before. Before I do that, I'm going to gaze into it. Gazing into the flame, breathing in and visualizing the extension of myself from my ajna, from where that area is, from my dragon's eye, and just connect to that flame. And as I do this, I'm focusing on the intent of money, wealth, prosperity, and abundance. And I'm seeing that, and I'm feeling that, and I'm visualizing the currency. I'm visualizing the pounds, the euros, and the dollars, and spending it and using that elixir and its manifestation and the results from it and how I feel from it. And as I do this, I begin to visualize that the entire flame of the candle burns bright emerald green. Green, the color of money. And these tiny minuscule specks are sparking off that green flame. Gold, a gold hue to the green flame. Flame of wealth, the flame of prosperity, the flame of abundance. And as I gaze upon this flame, I burn the sigil, visualizing the fire of the sigil is also green. Bune. I thank you. I thank you. Now they say that burning a sigil releases the spirit and releases the spell. But here's another thing that you might not know what it does. In India, they actually burn the bodies of the dead quite quick because they understand that whatever energy, like prana, for example, of the body is contained within the body, is going to be released through the ashes. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to collect the ashes of the sigil. And we're going to push them inside the actual elixir. Because the sigil of Bune has been brewing, for me at least, for hours. Now, if you followed my instructions, it should have been 3 days for you. And the activated seal is alive with that energy. And by imbuing the actual ashes of the sigil into the oil, what you're doing is you're actually imbuing and anchoring the demon Bune into the elixir. Like Bune, you're actually anchoring him and housing him in the elixir and infusing his energies into it too. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to consecrate this. Right hand over it. I'm feeling the energies of this is completely different. It is alive, most surely. I'm going to enter into trance, and you can follow along with me now. Pushing your own power, pushing your own intent, finalizing, sealing, and activating the power of the elixir. I activate and I consecrate this elixir before me. Creature of magic, creature of prosperity, wealth, and abundance. Be you the elixir of wealth. Be you the elixir of Bune. Be you the tool of my sorcerous works. I imbue into you my power, and I'm going to gaze at the flame, visualizing the usage, gazing into the flame and seeing that emerald green flame, pushing power, consecrating that, and sealing that within. I consecrate thee. And as that happens, you're going to seal the elixir and hold it over the flame, just coursing back and forth the flame, just above the flame. And as the heat, not too low, but as the heat goes into the glass, it carries with it the same energy of that flame. And visualize the oil glowing green and shining with a golden hue. I perform some circumambulation around the flame. Creature of magic, oil and elixir of wealth. I activate you and I consecrate you. I activate you and I charge you within the flame of prosperity and abundance. I charge you within the flame of emerald and gold. So it is done. And now you can choose to simply At this point I'll create a seal. And I do this with all my elixirs. I'll just put my hand here and I'll visualize energy leaking from my palm like water, and it's stopping right at the very entrance and around the entire vial. And what it's doing is it's creating walls, energetic walls. And as that liquidy, watery like wall of energy surrounds it, I push with more will and more power, and I visualize it hardens like ice. I seal you up, and I close you up to maintain and contain the power of this elixir. So it is done. 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 And that, brothers and sisters, is the basic construction and consecration of the elixir of Bune. Congratulations, you now have your elixir. Now, I have loads of labels and I'll label this, and if you're going to get into making elixirs and oils, I would definitely suggest you label this, because you don't want to confuse this for, say, like a baneful elixir, because that's going to be a big issue. Just to give you guys a look at the consistency. That's it. That's what it looks like. Now, look, it's very important that you understand that this can be used a variety of ways. You can use this to anoint objects in gree bags or spell pouches or whatever. You can also use this for jar spells. So let's say you want to create a jar spell, you write a petition. Let's say you were doing it with Bune even. Let's say you got Bune sigil, opened it up, put it in a jar, put honey in it, and then add like quite a few drops of them, put that in there with a petition, green candle on top, gaze into the candle, projecting your desire for that money to come, and just leave that. Just do it like that. Or you can even use it to anoint sigil and just do sigillic magic. You can use it for candle magic, anointing the candle, and you're going to be actually invoking the spirit of Bune and these powers into that candle, making it an actual lamp of abundance and money and prosperity. And there are even many other ways that you can use this. It's only limited by your imagination, so apply it however you want to, but just activate the elixir each time that you use it. Activate it, look at it, gaze at it, get in contact with the elixir, and say something as simple as elixir of Bune, oil of wealth, prosperity and abundance. I activate you in order, and then state your desire. So in order to bring forth that money to me, in order for me to get that promotion, in order to even lend power to this ritual or enhance the energies, whatever it may be, allow it to flow naturally, and then just simply say thank you, so it is done, and then use it. Use it. This is a very powerful elixir. It's a very basic setup, but it's a very powerful elixir, and it has worked time and time and time again and again with me. So brothers and sisters, if you like these type of videos, like, subscribe and share, and I'm doing a lot more tutorials like this. Infinite blessing to you all.